Let's talk about Gap Year Cash by Jim James. The author has a lot of experience in public relations, having started a couple businesses in China and Singapore. He has a podcast for entrepreneurs called the Unnoticed Podcast, as well as a number of mastermind groups he runs to help entrepreneurs. With all of this business experience, he's really qualified to be talking about it. But all that said, I'm just not a huge fan of his book. Most of the information he shares can be found by just Googling, I'm 18, how do I make some money? There's one thing he says that I do agree with a lot, and that is if you're looking to maximize how much time you spend traveling, then every day you spend working is a day you could have spent on the road. So you need to find a way to make money quickly. Working minimum wage, it's not going to get you there fast enough if that's what you're looking to do. You need to get a bit more creative. His suggestions are likely stuff you've heard before. Try flipping stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe try making arts and crafts and selling those online or locally. You could try running a travel blog of your own and garnering people's donations online. Or maybe you could run an event in your local community and have people donate to you to fund your travel. My problem with all of these is that A, they all cost money, which I'm assuming you don't have a lot of. B, they all take much more time than you might think. They're going to be a lot more difficult than you might think. They sound easy on the surface. And C, there's no guarantee of success. If you don't have much time, you need to be sure that every shot you're taking hits. So don't quit your day job just yet. The only guy you need to listen to online for business advice is the great Alex Hormozi. And he has an amazing video titled, I'm Broke, What Should I Sell? And I'm going to break down like the larger points of that video for you here. Choosing what to sell depends on what kind of resources you have access to and what kind of skills, values, and experience you have access to. The first thing to look at is what experiences that you have. And more likely than not, especially when you're 17, 18, you're going to say, I have no experience. I've never worked a real job before. I have nothing to provide. And someone like Alex, and what I would say too, is that that's BS. Your parents have done something. If not, if you don't have parents, the people who raised you did something. And if you were raised in the wild, whatever humans were around you at the time did something. For this reason, you know something about what your parents did just through osmosis. If your dad was a mechanic, you know more about cars than the average person does. For me, my parents, we did children's birthday parties on weekends with animals. So I happen to know a lot about animals and a lot about running in-person events. So there's stuff that you've learned just through osmosis, and you should be writing those things down and making a note of what you think you're the best at. Next is resources. Because you're young, I mean, I'm young too, you likely don't have all too much money to be sinking thousands and thousands of dollars into a business. For that reason, the best thing you can sell is a service because it costs you nothing to start. Selling arts and crafts is cute. Flipping stuff on Facebook is a neat idea, but you can't get the same kind of scale you can if you had a stack of cash to play with. For this reason, selling a service is the easiest business to start because it costs you nothing. So if you wanted to start making money today, Alex Hormozi would say to start selling a service because it costs you no money to start. And the service you should offer should be something you have experience with. So what that'll look like is something that your parents did or whoever raised you, what they did. Now, I've always been pretty entrepreneurial. So here are the kinds of services I would offer people when I was younger. Growing up, my family always had a garden. So I was always outside kind of helping them care for it. So in high school and even after high school, I would help my neighbors with landscaping. I guarantee you right now, there's some old person who lives next to you who has like a footpath that they want made or some weeds that they want pulled that you, an able-bodied young human, are completely qualified to take care of for them, and you can build them whatever you feel comfortable with. And that's something you can do today, right now. Number 2 is snow removal. Your neighbors are likely A, a bit old, so they don't want to shovel their own driveway, or B, business people who are just too busy in the morning, they don't want to shovel their own driveway. And you, a young person, have all the time in the world and have a functioning body, you can take care of that for them. And I would do that during like every snow day. In high school, we'd go door to door knocking on people's doors who hadn't shoveled their driveway yet. You'd tell them you'd do it for like $40, and oftentimes they'd be happy to give you the $40 because they just don't want to do the work, and you can do that for them. The last service I would offer people is web design. In high school, I spent a lot of time just learning the basics. Today, I'm still not the best at it, but if there was like a business owner I was family friends with, I'd offer to make them a website if they didn't have one already, or I would ask business owners that I knew if they were happy with the website they currently had, and if they weren't, offer to fix it up and make the changes that they'd want. Again, just something small, something I could provide with the skills that I had at the time. I'm guilty of this now, and I was doing this all the time when I was younger too, and that is falling for the temptation of making things more difficult than they need to be. You're just starting out. You don't need a website. You don't need brochures. You don't need business cards. You don't need a business number. You don't need a business bank account. You don't need to run some grand advertising campaign. If you're looking to start saving money for your gap year today, all you need to do, put on your shoes, go outside and start speaking to people you think might be interested in your service. For landscaping and snow removal, I would just go door to door, people who it looked like they might need it. And for web design, like I knew a handful of business owners just through my parents' circle and just from working around the neighborhood, I'd speak to them directly. So there's people you can help right now in your neighborhood who you know. And all you have to do is say hi and ask. And because you're young, you're chipper, you're spry, they want to help you out, they're more likely than not just going to say yes. This can be really, really, really simple. You do not need to take any extra steps. So go outside, offer your service to people that you know, do an amazing job, blow their mind away, get paid off your own work without needing like a paycheck from some boss, and then go out and have an amazing gap year and plan it to your heart's content with all the money that you've earned for yourself.